Good morning, everybody. Let's talk gas cans today. If you're living in an apartment, you probably don't have any, or chances are fairly good you don't. But if you have a house, you cut your grass, you got a gas can, so I don't really need to hold a gas can up to show you everything about them. If you store gas, one thing you're going to want to do is make sure it's away from your home, that the canister that it's in can breathe. I mean, you don't want it to be completely loose, but you don't want the thing to explode because it gets hot and gets cold, gets hot and gets cold. Sorry about that. Um, so, and over time, it is going to bulge out and come back down as it gets cool. So you're going to want to inspect them every now and then. I typically inspect mine just about every time I go into my shed because that's where I keep it. Um, you look around your seams. You want to look around your breather holes, your vents. Look around the filler neck. Check the handle and make sure that it hasn't developed a leak, because they can develop a leak. Now that's with your plastic ones. I've never seen a metal one do that, but I can't say that they won't either. So you can go back and forth, metal versus plastic, jerry can versus what you can pick up, or at least could pick up at Harbor Freight. I haven't picked up any in some time because I've just got so many. Um, Basically, you're going to want to inspect around the seams. You'll also find that at the corners, especially on the bottom, that's where they're going to be the thinnest. That's just part of the molding process, so check there as well. You'll see that that might want to mush in a little bit. Now, I rotate my gas out about every 6 months, and what I'll do is, well, my truck, first off, I never let it get below 3/4 of a tank. I just won't do it. But the car, I'll take it down to just about empty through the summer, at least, not through the winter, but through the summer I will. So what I do is I take it down to pretty close to empty, and I can get 3 5-gallon cans in it, and then I throw them in my truck and immediately go and fill them, and I rotate them out like that. I do them 3 at a time. I can typically, once I get down to about a 3/4 of a tank in my truck, I can put a 5-gallon 6-gallon tank in my truck, or 6 gallons in my truck. My truck is roughly 26 gallons. So I try not to just do one at a time. I try to do, hang on. I try not to do just one can at a time. I try to do 3, possibly 4 at one time. That way I'm not going back and forth to the gas station. I just don't like doing that. So if you've got, say, 8, then about once a week, maybe once 10 days, and then once you do it, and then 10 days later you should be able to finish up the whole process and keep your gas fairly fresh. One thing you are most certainly going to want to do is put a fuel stabilizer in it. I use a company called Sta-Bil. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. I also, a lot of times, will put a gas treatment in it as well. It might be a little overkill, but if you can get something like the Lucas, so that's what I like. Some people like Seafoam, and just put half a bottle of that in there. It just helps keep the gas fresh. Even if your gas is going stale, and let's say you're only down to 3/4 of a tank of gas, and you mix that 5 gallons of stale with 3/4 that's not stale, it's not going to cause an issue. You're not going to see any reliability. You shouldn't see any pings or pops or misfires or anything like that. So keep that in mind too, just in case you miss one. Gas will, without stabilizer, is going to last around 6 months, maybe a little bit longer. Of course, depending on how it's stored, it can last longer than that. I've heard people say that it's last over a year. But with stabilizer, you can get at least a year out of it. So, but you've got to put the proper amount of stabilizer in for the can. Now, what I like to do is when I empty the can, I put the stabilizer in it, take it to the gas station, and fill it up. That way, it's getting mixed around. I don't have to worry about anything else trying to mix it up, shaking the can or anything along those lines. Trying to mix 5 gallon. Sorry about that. Mosquitoes are everywhere out here. Trying to mix up a 5-gallon gas can just by shaking it, probably not the smartest thing you can do. A, because of the weight, and B, just in case it does decide to start leaking, it's going to come out all over you. Um, Now with the new safety cans, they're retarded. I use a big funnel, very wide mouth funnel, and that's how I fill my tank up. That's what I do. You do it however you want to. I found it works easier. Just take the cap off the can, pick the thing up, and dump it in. One thing I wish I'd have done differently, that if I have to replace cans, I will. They have cans that have a handle on top and a handle on the side to make it easier to pour. Especially since this arm is all nice and metal now. It's going to make it easier on me to pour that out. So it's, whenever you're doing this, you don't want to try and be awkward, because you don't want to spill any of it. You don't want to wedge it against your vehicle and run the risk of, A, if you're just using the funnel that's on the can, popping out and spewing fuel everywhere, or B, knocking the funnel that you are using out and again spilling fuel everywhere, getting it all over your body, because you don't want to get that crap in your eyes or in your mouth. It's just, that's no fun. So I think that pretty much covers that topic. If you've got a garage and you have a space that you can put one of your bigger tanks, it's like 50 gallons or 100 gallons, like some of the guys out there do, and that has the hand crank and you can pump it in, that's just absolutely the way to go. I'm not going to deny that, but for me, I don't have a garage, not yet at least, and I'm keeping this off-site, away from my home. Even if I had a garage, I probably would not keep that kind of stuff in the garage, because I just don't want that much storage of fuel. So that's all I have for you right now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Share it, like it, and remember, there are a few problems in life that cannot be solved by Battleship Broadside. You guys have a great rest of your day.